Now this particular system here is 40 petaflops, which is approximately the performance of the Sierra supercomputer in 2018. The Sierra supercomputer has 18,000 GPUs, Volta GPUs. This one node here replaces that entire supercomputer. 4,000 times increase in performance in 6 years. That is extreme Moore's law. Remember, I've said before that AI, NVIDIA has been scaling computing by about 1 million times every 10 years. And we're still on that track. But the way to do that is not just to make the chips faster. There's only a limit to how fast you can make chips and how big you can make chips. In the case of Blackwell, we even connected 2 chips together to make it possible. TSMC worked with us to invent a new CoWoS process called CoWoS-L that made it possible for us to create these giant chips. But still, we want chips way bigger than that. And so we had to create what is called NVLink. This is the world's fastest switch. This NVLink here, right here, is 7.2 terabytes per second. 9 of these go into that rack. And those 9 switches are connected by this miracle. This is quite heavy. That's because I'm quite strong. I made it look so light, but this is 70 pounds. And so this is the NVLink spine. 2 miles of cables, 5,000 cables structured, all coaxed, impedance matched, and it connects all 72 GPUs to all of the other 72 GPUs across this network called NVLink switch. 130 terabytes per second of bandwidth across the NVLink spine. So just put in perspective, the peak traffic of the entire internet, is 900 terabits per second. Divide that by 8. This moves more traffic than the entire internet. 1 NVLink spine across this 9 of these NVLink switches, so that every single GPU can talk to every other GPU at exactly the same time. This is the miracle of GB200. And because there's a limit to how far you can drive SerDes, this is as far as any SerDes has ever driven. From chip, this goes chip to the switch, out to the spine, to any other switch, any other chip. All electrical. And so that limit caused us to put everything in one rack. And that one rack is 120 kilowatts, which is the reason why everything has to be liquid cooled. We now have the ability to disaggregate the GPUs out of one motherboard, essentially, across an entire rack. And so that entire rack is one motherboard. That's the miracle. Completely disaggregated, and now the GPU performance is incredible, the amount of memory is incredible, the networking bandwidth is incredible, and now we can really scale these out. Once we scale it up, then we can scale it out into large systems. And notice almost everything NVIDIA builds are gigantic. And the reason for that is because we're not building data centers and servers, we're building AI factories. This is CoreWeave. This is Oracle Cloud. The power density of each rack is so great, they have to put them further apart so that the power density could be distributed. But really, in the end, we're not building data centers, we're building AI factories. And this is the XAI, Colossus factory. This is Stargate. 4 million square feet. 4 million square feet, 1 gigawatt. And so just think about this factory here. This 1 gigawatt factory is probably going to be about, 60 to 80 billion dollars. Out of that 60 to 80 billion dollars, the electronics, the computing part of it, these systems are $40, $50 billion of it. And so these are gigantic factory investments. The reason why people build factories is because you know the answer. The more you buy, say it with me. The more you buy, the more you make. That's what factories do. Okay. The technology is so complicated. And in fact, just looking at it here, you still cannot get the deep appreciation of the amazing work that's being done in all of our partners and all of the companies here in the audience in Taiwan. And so we made you a movie. I made you a movie. Take a look.
Blackwell is an engineering marvel. It begins as a blank silicon wafer at TSMC. Hundreds of chip processing and ultraviolet lithography steps build up each of the 200 billion transistors, layer by layer on a 12-inch wafer. The wafer is scribed into individual Blackwell die, tested and sorted, separating the good dies to move forward. The chip-on-wafer on substrate process, done at TSMC, SPIL, and Amkor, attaches 32 Blackwell dies and 128 HBM stacks on a custom silicon interposer wafer. Metal interconnect traces are etched directly into it, connecting Blackwell GPUs and HBM stacks into each system and package unit, locking everything into place. Then the assembly is baked, molded, and cured, creating the Blackwell B200 superchip. At KYEC, each Blackwell is stress tested in ovens at 125 degrees Celsius and pushed to its limits for several hours. Back at Foxconn, robots work around the clock to pick and place over 10,000 components onto the Grace Blackwell PCB. Meanwhile, additional components are being prepared at factories across the globe. Custom liquid cooling copper blocks from Cooler Master, AVC, Auras, and Delta keep the chips at optimal temperatures. At another Foxconn facility, Connect X7 SuperNICs are built to enable scale-out communications, and Bluefield 3 DPUs to offload and accelerate networking, storage, and security tasks. All these parts converge to be carefully integrated into GB200 compute trays. NVLink is the breakthrough high-speed link that NVIDIA invented to connect multiple GPUs and scale up into a massive virtual GPU. The NVLink switch tray is constructed with NVLink switch chips, providing 14.4 terabytes per second of all-to-all bandwidth. NVLink spines form a custom blind-mated backplane, integrating 5,000 copper cables to deliver 130 terabytes per second of all-to-all bandwidth. This connects all 72 Blackwells or 144 GPU dies into one giant GPU. From around the world, parts arrive. From Foxconn, Wistron, Quanta, Dell, Asus, Gigabyte, HPE, Supermicro, and other partners to be assembled by skilled technicians into a rack-scale AI supercomputer. In total, 1.2 million components, 2 miles of copper cable, 130 trillion transistors, weighing 1,800 kilograms. From the first transistor etched into a wafer to the last bolt fastening the Blackwell rack, every step carries the weight of our partners' dedication, precision, and craft. Blackwell is more than a technological wonder. It's a testament to the marvel of the Taiwan technology ecosystem. We couldn't be prouder of what we've achieved together. Thank you, Taiwan.
Thank you. Thank you. That was pretty incredible, right? But that was you. That was you. Thank you. Well, Taiwan doesn't just build supercomputers for the world. Today, I'm very happy to announce that we're also building AI for Taiwan. And so today we're announcing that Foxconn, Taiwan, the Taiwanese government, NVIDIA, TSMC, we're going to build the first giant AI supercomputer here for the AI infrastructure and the AI ecosystem of Taiwan. Thank you. Is there anybody who needs an AI computer? Any AI researchers in the audience? Every single student, every researcher, every scientist, every startup, every large established company, TSMC themselves does enormous amounts of AI and scientific research already.